Somewhere, years ago, you finally said something in a group. Maybe it was funny, maybe it was smart. It doesn't matter. Because what you remember isn't what you said, it's what someone else said next. Oh my God, I didn't know you could talk. And everyone laughed, and you smiled. And something in you quietly decided it was safer not to do that again. If you were the quiet kid, you're probably not a quiet kid anymore. You have a job, friends, a life. But some habits followed you here. Small things you do every day without thinking. And they're not random, they're souvenirs. Here are 8 normal habits that are actually signs you were the quiet kid. Count how many you still do. Number 1, you rehearse conversations before they happen. Before a phone call, you run it once in your head. Before a meeting, you prepare answers to questions nobody has asked yet. Before saying anything in a group, there's a quick internal draft. Here's where that comes from. Remember reading out loud in class when everyone took turns? Everyone else was following the story. You were doing math, counting the paragraphs ahead, figuring out exactly which one would land on you, and silently practicing it over and over while the story passed you by. You didn't hear a single word of that book, but when your turn came, you were ready. That kid never really stopped preparing. He just moved from paragraphs to phone calls. Number 2, you rewrite messages before sending them. You type it, read it back. Too blunt. You soften it. Now too soft. You adjust one word, then another, then send something that's fine. Because somewhere early on, you learned that when you speak rarely, every word gets noticed. The loud kids could say 10 dumb things a day and nobody kept score. But when the quiet kid finally spoke, everyone turned around. Your words had an audience whether you wanted one or not. So you learned to edit before publishing. You still do, even in a text about pizza. Number 3, you apologize by reflex. Sorry, quick question. Sorry, Sorry, this might be dumb, but you're not actually sorry. It's just how your sentences start now. And here's the part that might sting a little. Some quiet kids heard their own parents apologize for them. Sorry, he's a bit shy. She's quiet, don't mind her. Said kindly, said with love even. But a kid hears something else. I am something that needs to be apologized for. So you took over the job. You've been apologizing for taking up space ever since. You can stop now. You were never the problem. Number 4, you still freeze when someone says, "You're so quiet." Decades of hearing it, and you still don't have an answer. Because there isn't one. It was never really a question. Why are you so quiet is just the polite version of, why are you so weird? And as a kid, you knew it. In the shower, you had the perfect comeback ready. Why are you so loud? You never said it. Of course you didn't. Your report card said it too. Every single one. Needs to participate more. Hardworking, but very quiet. Same sentence, different year, like a stamp. Nobody ever wrote, listens better than anyone in this class. That column didn't exist. Number 5, you scan every room you enter. You find the exits, you find the corner seat, you clock who's loud, who's safe, who to avoid. 2 seconds, automatic, before you've even said hello. That's the back of the class kid, the one who learned that the edge of the room is where you can see everything and be seen the least. People call it social anxiety. A lot of it is actually social radar. You spent years watching rooms instead of performing in them, and you got genuinely good at reading them. The kids who were busy talking never learned what you learned by watching. Number 6, people who know you well don't believe you're the quiet one. Your closest friends have seen you go on a 20-minute rant about something ridiculous. Your family knows you're funny. If they heard a coworker describe you as quiet, they'd laugh. There were always 2 versions of you. There's a mother somewhere telling a teacher, confused, almost pleading, he's not like this at home. At home, he never stops talking. That wasn't fake. Both versions were real. Home was just the only place that had earned the loud one. And honestly, that hasn't changed. Your real personality still has a guest list. Number 7, you feel guilty saying no to plans. You want to stay home. You know you want to stay home. And you still feel like you owe someone an explanation. That guilt was installed. Come out of your shell. Don't be antisocial. You'll never make friends like that. Every adult in your childhood agreed on one thing. The way you naturally were was a problem to fix. But here's the thing about shells. Some animals carry their shelter with them everywhere they go. Nobody tells a turtle it has a personality flaw. You weren't refusing to come out. You were already home. Number 8, you'd still rather listen than talk. In every conversation, you ask more than you share. People tell you things, real things, sometimes strangers. You've heard, I've never told anyone this, more times than you can count. Because people can feel who's actually listening. And it's never the person waiting for their turn to speak. Back then, people assumed your silence was empty, that you weren't thinking about anything at all. They saw quietness as blankness. Meanwhile, there was an entire universe running in there. Questions, stories, observations, things you noticed that nobody else did. They just never asked, not once. Nobody ever said, you're quiet, what are you thinking about? Imagine how different that would have felt. So, count them up. Rehearsing conversations, rewriting messages, reflex apologies, freezing at, you're so quiet, scanning rooms, the 2 versions of you, the guilt about staying home, listening more than talking. These were never flaws. They were adaptations. A kid did their honest best in a world built for louder people. And these habits are what that kid came up with. They worked. You made it here. And one more thing. That moment from the beginning, I didn't know you could talk? Here's what it actually proved. The problem was never that you were quiet. The problem was that nobody learned how to listen. They told you to speak up, to participate, to come out of your shell. And the one time you did, they made it weird. So no, you weren't broken. You weren't missing anything. You were a whole person in a room full of people who only knew one way to be. You weren't the quiet kid. You were the kid nobody learned to listen to. How many are you still doing? 1 out of 8? All 8? Count them and drop your number in the comments. And if someone in your life is the quiet one, maybe just ask them what they're thinking about sometime. They've been waiting a long time for that question.